I'm going to call this the bigger surprise trade of the day. The Jazz getting Jaren Jackson Jr. from the Grizzlies in an 8-player trade. You thought you hated 4-player trades. So the Memphis Grizzlies continuing to tear things down. All that's missing is John Moran getting traded next. But Walter Clayton for the Grizzlies. Love it. Kyle Anderson, Taylor Hendricks, George Nang. Don't love it. 3 future first-round picks. Like it. Jazz get Jaren Jackson Jr., John Kachar, Jock Landale, Vince Williams Jr. Obviously for Memphis, that's great because you've conceded, all right, we had our run. It was 1.5 years. It was great. Then Ja lost his mind. Taylor Jenkins lost the locker room. Jaren Jackson, very good, but we put too much on his shoulders. Desmond Bane's biceps can only do so much. If you're the Grizzlies, I don't mind this. The Jazz, I don't get the move.
I don't get it.
Like, you're not in a position to really do anything, I guess. You're still, like, right now, you're in the middle of your own reload. You have, I mean, let me see. They're 13th. They're 16 wins, like 13th in the West. They're not going anywhere, really. Like Jaren Jackson, like Lauri Markkanen, don't know how they fit together. Very, very weird fit, unless you're going to kick one of them to center, and then they're out of position, unless one's going to play small
They can't even
forward.
put somebody at center. They have Walker Kessler there.
Then Jaren Jackson's going to be playing small forward, or what? Maybe you're going to put Lauri Markkanen at small forward, where it's a freakishly tall small forward. It can work. It's a very interesting fit, and I don't know. It feels kind of weird because that's a lot of picks for when you're rebuilding and reloading. I like it for the Grizzlies, though, because I think Walter Clayton can play in this league. I think he's going to be around and be able to play for a while. All-star, maybe not, but I think he's a good player. And you have conceded, yeah, we're a mess. We're just going to tear this apart and rebuild it. Someone take John Morant off our hands, and then it will be complete. Our turn to the dark side will be complete. And I mean, I'm intrigued. The Jazz are interesting. I will say I am interested to see how that giant-ass lineup is going to look once everyone gets in there.
We started the season talking about the Rockets being the largest lineup that they could possibly put out here. I'm going to have to recant that statement now if the Jazz roll out a lineup with Lauri Markkanen, Walker Kessler, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Yusuf Nurkic in it. Also, they have Kyle Filipowski on their team, who are all center-listed players. All of them are center-listed. I know this says forward on the screen. They are listed as a center for Jaren Jackson Jr. So you have 5 starter or positive minutes level players on your team that are centers.
Plus Ace Bailey, who's 6'9" rookie.
You have Ace Bailey, small forward, Keontae George at point guard. You have Kevin Love on the bench, who has, I think, played 1 game. So
no, he's been playing minutes. He's been getting out there.
All right, there you go. But you also have Isaiah Collier, which I think is a very interesting piece. Bryce Sensabaugh is a small forward who's also like 6'9", 6'10". You have a very large lineup potential. But I got to be honest, outside of Lauri Markkanen, Walker Kessler, and Jaren, they're young and they need experience. And I get that. And I think that's all the Jazz are trying to do. But how do you piece together a point guard and 4 6'9" plus guys? I don't know how that's going to work.
And then your bench guys are Nurkic and Kevin Love. Like, if this was 2019, that would be a powerhouse front court. But I don't know.
Like Walter Clayton Jr. had all the makings of something useful. Georges Niang is always going to be that 3-and-D type of guy. Kyle Anderson, I know he's slow motion, but you know what? He was efficient. And maybe this is a cost dumping measure, but you got to take on Jaren Jackson's contract now. So it's not like that's a level up for you anyways. Memphis did you no favors with that contract. So yeah, I don't like this from either perspective, but I guess I like it a little more from the Grizzlies perspective of like, we'll just survive another year. We'll go back to being hustle and grind next year because right now we're just trying to get John Moran off our books. But it also gets Jaren Jackson out of Memphis, and I think that was the best move for Jaren Jackson's future. Not that Utah's a better move, though.
It was almost a lateral move, but a little more upside at least. And if nothing else, he can be like, I'm not playing center to get one of the other 8 guys.
He doesn't have to play. He doesn't have to play against the Utah Jazz fans anymore. So now he doesn't have to deal with the negatives of being an opposing player coming into Utah and dealing with that situation.
Granted, now he has to deal with it from being a player. If he has a bad night, then it's almost just as bad.
They don't hate on their own players when they have a bad night usually.
And if you have a bad week, then maybe we'll see. They can get ruthless depending on how it's going. If they could have kept Walter Clayton, I think that would have been ideal. I think he would fit ideally with this type of role, but obviously Grizzlies probably looked at like, yeah, we want a guy that we know can create a shot and can put up shots at least. I think he's going to be a really good
We need the guy that
long-term
won a college title for Florida. Like,
we need a guy who can get buckets, basically. Well, all the other stuff those other shortcomings, don't care. He can get a bucket. That's what we'll take. But